episode of the Last Day was brought to you by Common Sense. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. Welcome to the Lions Den. 144 men on the rise again. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever keep respect. Welcome to the Lions Den. 144 men on the rise again. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever keep respect. To you, Jeremiah, I'm finna bring the fire. Cause on the second turn, you don't crucify the Messiah. Growing like a lion instead of being defiant. You better come together and try to form an alliance. Like Jesus minister, a new heavyweight champ. Finna turn the lights on instead of using a lamp. They try to keep up with us, but they niggas catching the cramp. Hebrew Israelites, man, that's the name of the camp. That's a divine prospect. Shout out to the brother Ron. When they see the Hebrews, other ideologies rhyme. Then apologies come, forever calling us dumb. Bringing all of the facts and leaving silent and numb. So call me Yasha Allah, call up Danya Allah. We got no problem, tell the truth and we follow. Got skilled debaters, like Michael Edwards. We never go run, PowerPoint, we win the lecture. Welcome to the Lions Den. 144 men on the rise again. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever keep respect. Welcome to the Lions Den. 144 men on the rise again. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever keep respect. We see you talking down when you're doing your interviews. We got a multitude of knowledge, so how could we lose? Used to be in the game, so I give them the blues. Welcome to the Lions Den. We deep when we face you. I know it's hard to understand your ancestors was a slave, but challenging biblical knowledge, homie, we did play. Intellectually, I know you really hear me. You're standing right here. Look at me, kid. Yeah, you gon' get this work. When the father don't spend his time at me, he fit this curse. Do the people like it or not? Take a look at your block. The rise of AOC, Masharai, Yasha cause we got it on lock. Identify through our conditions. Try to label us African without permission. Never lay it down, tapping out, no submission. See us in the streets every day, we on a mission. Welcome to the Lions Den. 144 men on the rise again. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever keep respect. Welcome to the Lions Den. 144 men on the rise again. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever keep respect. We get a certain type of treatment in the conscious community. We get a certain type of treatment in the conscious community in which you are at the forefront of, Simon. So what we're saying is that we want to have a dialogue and discussion about what is good for black people and what should we do differently within our community. And we wanted to have an intelligent conversation. So why don't you invite me on it? All right.
Man, like you breaking up, man. Like you static when you talk. Stuff come on.
Bro.
Yeah, on my end.
Y'all hear me?
Come on.
Am I loud and clear?
Come on.
Like y'all breaking up on mine.
Breaking up?
Well, I can hear you good. I can hear you good also. I can hear the both of you good.
All right, can you hear us, King Seth? Is that better?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, you gotta get off of the other one. Let me see.
Yeah, I don't think I'm on that.
All right, there we go. Ratazaya, you there?
Come on. Kwame Astrala. Shalom.
Your camera's off, huh? Hello, yeah.
Still breaking up.
Is it still choppy?
Yeah, you breaking up. Yeah, you breaking up on my end.
Man, I can hear you loud and clear, man.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and
let's
clear.
Go,
Akim.
Well, let's go with it. You know what I'm saying? Let's just go with it. If I need some,
All
if I
right.
need some edification, y'all give it to me.
All right. So welcome to another Lions Den / Gladiator School compilation. Shout out to all the supporters, man. Maccabees TV, Light Magazine, all the brothers and sisters that support. We appreciate you all, man. Appreciate you all. We're going to be having an important discussion, man, concerning our people. And both these brothers are coming from two different stances. And I appreciate these stances because they both embody law. They both embody instructions, right? Which I believe that we all need versus someone who is lawless, who does not rely upon any divine wisdom. I believe there's something seriously wrong with that because we all need that reassurance that we are, we're doing the right things. So I want these brothers to introduce themselves. And tonight we're going to be talking about which is better for Black people, Mayat or the Bible. Ratazaya, you want to start?
Khan, Shalom, Mashpaka, peace, all family. Shamya Kharawat Zaya Ban Yasha'Allah. My name is Karatazaya Ban Yasha'Allah, Ban Wayarak, Ban Yahawada, son of Ricky, son of Judah. All right, descendant of the McNeil family that was in slavery and captivity in the Mississippi area. So with that being said, the Most High showed me that we are the children of Israel that's been documented about 11 years ago. So I've been studying and researching this specifically, holding fast to, to the knowledge of, just one path, and at the same time learning other things. So with that being said, I want to give a sincere salute to everybody, even if you don't know what your nationality is, even at this time, it's still possible for you to learn. So I encourage you all, if you find out that your descendants have a rich heritage and it actually is prophesied about, and these prophecies was written before, we came into, consciousness of ourselves, and our grandparents followed these things. And I would encourage everybody also to do them. All right. So history does show that the so-called Negroes were sold into chattel slavery in, South, and throughout the four corners of earth. So with that being said, there's also a book that prophesies these events. Often this book is called the Bible, but really I would like to prefer to call it just sacred text or, Torah scrolls. So this is the stance that I'll be coming from, representing the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and his only begotten son, Yahushai, which was a Negro that was murdered for the sins of our people. So with that being said, I salute you all, and I encourage everyone to keep the Most High's law, statutes, commandments, and have faith in his son. Shalom.
All right. Great. All right, King Seth.
Yeah, man, my name King Self. I'm representing representing Africa. I'm just here to, represent that African spirituality, man, Black power.
Con. All right, man. So again, man, these two brothers are going to be going into a debate. This is just a preliminary, so you all can get energized and inspired to come and join us on this debate, which is this weekend on the 7th, December 7th at 7 p.m. Central Time, right? So the way we're going to do this tonight is these brothers are going to be dialoguing amongst one another. But I want to start things off with a few questions for both brothers. Then I'll allow these brothers to question one another. And then we're going to go to you brothers and sisters that are watching. We're going to go to you all. So prepare yourself to load the questions up, and we'll read them to the brothers, and we'll deal with them. All right, to the best of our ability. Again, man, the hottest, debate league out right now, Lions Den Debate League. We're trying to keep the information flowing. And one thing that was important to us is that we wanted to give brothers and sisters, a platform to go without bias, without being deleted in messages being deleted in the comment board, without being muzzled, so to speak, right? So, this is our goal, this is our ambition, and this is what we're trying to accomplish, man. So December 7th, man, the actual debate is going down. We're only going to be on for about an hour tonight, just trying to lay things down so you all can understand the importance of this discussion, right? We have a identity problem in the so-called Black community, right? We have an identity problem. We want to be able to uh, reconnect with our ancestors. We want to reconnect with order, right? And so we're trying to take a look at the antiquities, take a look at the information, and rightly divide truth, man, right? So my first question is for both of you brothers. Kratazaya, you did the opening introduction, so I go to King Seth first. My question is that seeing the condition that our people are in, right? The condition that our people are in, meaning real issues that we deal with, being number one in abortion, being number one in fatherless homes, being dealing with a financial crisis, right? We have lack of a race first spirit and mentality, right? So what would help bring growth to our people concerning any one of those issues, right? And if you want me to narrow down the issue, I will.
Yeah,
Right?
you said what will bring growth?
Yes. Yeah.
What will bring growth to the people that's in our condition, to black people
Right.
in our condition? I basically think, man, that what will bring growth to us will be self responsibility, taking account for what we do and correcting it. The actual definition, the actual meaning of repentance to change your mind. That's what we need to do as a people. We need to evaluate our situation, see what we did in the past, see what works, see what don't work.
Great,
It's
great, great.
not based on. It's not based. Okay. You
Yeah,
want
no,
me
that's
to
all good.
stop
Go
or
ahead.
can
Finish,
I keep?
finish your thought out. Finish your thought.
Oh, okay. It's not based on just a judicial law. It's based on within the law, within man, within that person, within that human being. If you don't have that standard in your body or in your mind or in your heart, then you're right. It's gonna be lawless. But first, the individual has to do it. That's just like they say to a drug addict. First, they gotta want to stop. That's self accountability. That's responsibility to one's life, to one's children, to one's family.
That's right, that's right. Correct as I, yeah, same question.
Yeah,
Somebody phrase it. I'll phrase it better next question. Go ahead.
Loud, I have a similar stance, that it does start with self-responsibility. So that was the path that the Most High put me on, to be accountable for my own actions. So not only for my own actions, for those that was directly around me, but also for Yaladim and for children. So with that being said, I do think that once we become accountable for our own actions, that there does have to be a standard that we have to start following and keeping. And if that standard does work, stick with it. So Christianity and other belief systems that that all of us were raised up in, I found out that just they didn't work. They were the same system, just repackaged and given to us. You know, so with that being said, finding what does actually work for our culture, which I do believe keeping the customs of our forefathers, keeping the law, statutes, commandments, but also understanding that we're those people who wrote those annals, we're those people who wrote those documents, and returning to those would help give our children, or our Yaladium, our children, a greater value of worth too. So me doing it, starting off, yeah, absolutely. But then immediately, there has to be me and you, and King. So excuse me, Jeremiah, King, doing it, together, teaching the Eladium, so that now our generation can really start coming up. Because if I get it for myself, cool. But if I don't give it to the babies, then what good am I? So, the Most High tells us in our culture to teach the children at all times, and that does rest on us teaching him his law, statutes, and commandments, you know, uh, and that's my stance.
All right, man. I appreciate it, man. All right, so for my next question is in your stance, you're representing Mayat. One thing that is a major failure that I believe in the black community. Other brothers might disagree. This is my personal stance. I believe that this so-called integration was a major.
Maya, I'm not gonna lie, bro. You breaking up bad. You breaking up bad on my end, real bad.
Okay. Uh,
It's like I don't know. It's,
can you hear me? Is that better?
I can hear you, but it's like it's static and it's like you echoing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Karata Zaya, can you hear me clearly?
Khan, I can hear the two of you very clearly.
All right.
you want me to leave and come back in?
Um, I don't know. You on earphones?
Yeah, I got my headphone. I got my.
Maybe if you try taking those off, see if that helps.
Can you hear me?
Is that better? Is that better?
Nah. It's like it's late.
It's still choppy.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. Cause like when I move my hand, it's late.
Okay. They said it sounds good in the comment board. They said it sounds good on their end.
Let me let me leave out and come right back in.
All right.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right. So while he's gone, I'll pose the question to you, Karata Zaya, for the people that's watching. I believe the integration was hurtful to our people. So you being the representative of the Bible, does it deal with being race first in the Bible? Does it promote for our people to consider one another first over other races?
Yeah, Khan, and to answer that question, absolutely. Absolutely. Not only does the Bible refer it, but we're actually commanded to stay separate from other nations whenever it comes to living according to their ways. So living according to the customs of the people is what got our people in trouble in the first place. Not every vehicle is the same, or even made up of the same components. So if you have, a Porsche, and you put, dollar store, motor oil in it, you're going to have issues. And that's the condition with the children of Israel. We are that porous nation, the same ones that's been beaten down, downtrodden, raped, murdered. To this day, thousands of Israelite women are being kidnapped right here in Babylon. So we're that nation that's been punished and chastised for coming into connection, having unions, associating, and taking even on the belief systems of the other nations, including the Egyptians or the so-called Africans. So every nationality that the Israelites specifically came into contact with, that we took on their ways, what we call integration today, has resulted in, just terrible consequences, which is one of the reasons why I don't teach that we should be in a part of any other culture or belief system aside from our own. So integration is absolutely a big traumatic, terrible thing, that our people have come across. But I do also, forgive me, last point with that, I apologize. I do also believe with us being separate, we are possible of governing, our own selves according to our own culture, even in so much that we would be able to govern not only ourselves, but the world better. All right. So I yield the floor. Thor.
Yeah, since this is a biblical discussion, we're having comparison to Mayat. Is there any biblical reference that you could refer us to that would prove to us a race first mentality?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. We'll start with let's pull one from Deuteronomy chapter 32. All right, 23. It's like Deuteronomy chapter 23. So out of the book of the law that was given to the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and North American Indians that were scattered throughout North, South, Central America, and even to the interior diaspora, the great prophet Masha or Moses, Moshe, whatever pronunciation the brother would like to use, which we know that this prophet did exist. All right, so this prophet wrote annals, and we should follow those. One of them is documented in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 32 and 23. I apologize. Deuteronomy chapter 23, and let's start at verse. Let's do that one, and let's do Deuteronomy chapter 7. All right. So in the water. Thank you for asking. All right.
Yeah, no sweat.
No sweat. No sweat. That's the word right there. All right. So Deuteronomy chapter 7, and we're gonna start at verse 1. We're not going to do a very long reading. So Deuteronomy chapter 7, starting at verse 1, and it reads, and for the sake of those who aren't speaking Hebrew yet, we're going to read it in English, even though I do pronounce Yahweh, Allahaya, Noah, Adanya. I do pronounce the Paleo Hebrew pronunciations. We're going to speak in English for now. All right. So Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1, and it reads, and when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Now, here's the reason why the Most High tells the children of Israel to not integrate, which was against what, the opposite of what Martin Luther King's speech was. So the long story short, the Most High tells us not to integrate for this very reason, which brought us into America, which also is bringing us to this discussion right here. All right, because of the confusion that will come with it by worshiping and learning the ways of the Gentiles and false deities. So here's the consequence, verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yahweh be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. See? So this is one wonderful and very powerful example, and anybody can find it. It's in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7, and you can start at verse 1. That's one that's often used when we're asked about, interracial marriage. But not only that, ma'at specifically, because that does take us away. The incorrect terminology of it takes the children of Israel away from actually learning wisdom. I yield.
All right, great, man. I appreciate that, man. So Seth, what I was asking is, my personal belief is that integration was something that was harmful to our community. It caused us to not want to shop and spend with our own, but rather take our money to other nations, to other races of people. So, is there anything in Mayat that encourages race first? And how do you feel about race first and the importance of it? We can't hear you, Ak. You on mute.
Oh,
There you go.
can you hear me now? All right.
Come,
Yes, sir.
Okay. I say, yeah, that's one of the most important things that we need to get back and we need to start thinking about doing. Because I agree with you. Integration was one of the worst things that happened to black people. You see what I'm saying? I understand at the time that, Martin Luther King, yeah, he had a dream. Yeah, that was fine. But like you said, we stopped spending with each other. We wasn't neighborly anymore. And I believe that a certain group of people had something to do with that. But I believe it started happening at a certain time period. Because if you really think about it, and if you really do your history, you will find out that This never started happening until after the 80s. We wasn't sagging pants shooting each other before the 80s. What we was doing, we was commercial with each other. We was trading with each other, boarding with each other. The lady down the street could whoop your butt and tell your mama, and then you gonna get another whooping. You see, that's community, that's family. We was building stuff. That's why this certain group of people hated on that, because they knew once we succeed, and you have to think about it, we were just out of slavery. They was here prospering for 250 years before we even thought about having anything like a Tulsa, Oklahoma, a Black Wall Street. You see what I'm saying? So the competition was real. That's how fast we came up. That quick. Look what we did since 1965, the Civil Rights Act. I agree with you. When we by ourselves, they leave us alone. They know what happened. You understand? But as far as us as a people, race first is the most important thing. We need to start thinking about our people, and you can see it even in the biblical text. The what Pharaoh did, Pharaoh took in the Hebrews. Oh yeah, go get them. My family, yeah, go get them. Yeah, that's what he said. It was another Pharaoh that came in that was twisted. That's in the Bible, in the biblical narrative. Look at Herodotus, white boy, come to Egypt to study. We we about knowledge, by passing it. That's what it's about. Different civilizations mixing together to coincide and coexist. That's nature. That's balance. That's my. That brings the world back in order. No pollution. Everything is true. You see what I'm saying? That's my balance, harmony, truth, and justice. That's what it is. That's the African way.
All right, so I asked him. I also asked him to, since this is a Ma'at and a biblical discussion, can you show me anything in Ma'at that supports race first mentality?
In my yes, specifically. Once my comes in into play, then you take self accountability. Then you open your third eye. Once you start practicing that, you open your third eye. You open up and see what's going on around you, and you adjust accordingly.
Is there any law in Ma'at that we could reference that would support that? If not, it's okay.
Oh yes, all of them. You have them, but I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you could
I
just
have.
any
I
any
got.
one or
I
two
got. I
that you
got it
want
up
to
my. You say what?
any one or two that you want to recite that supports race first mentality.
Let me get you. But see, I can't. I can't access my phone because I want to see them out. I want to see them out. One you talk. One you talked to me earlier about. One you talked to me earlier about. You was talking about women. You were saying the women out there, they running their mouth, they spreading rumors, they all in people business, they nosy. See, my law 14 says states that I have not gotten other people's business. I have mind my own business. I'm gonna bring that up in the debate also. So that's just one that I'll bring up.
Right, right, right. I was just saying in specific to race first, but it's all good. I'll move to my next question. My next question is actually about inside the household. Remember, family, this is about which one is better for Black people. We have real issues in our community, right? Race first mentality is one, right? Economic growth is another. We also have social issues in regards to husband and wife, right? Behavior
Mm-hmm.
in the home, which cause leads us to what they term fatherless homes. So that's a real issue in our community. So, Karate Zaya, I'm gonna come to you first. Um, what's your take on marriage and the relationship between the husband and the wife. And also, after you give your thoughts, is there any biblical reference that you can use that will deal with that? We want to know which ideology or which school of thought can actually help us, man. So the floor is yours.
Khan Thawada, thank you. So the Israelite family that's been scattered throughout the southern regions and the Caribbeans, all throughout the four corners of the earth, actually, not the Hamitic, not the African, not the East Indian, not the Persian, not the European families, but the so-called Negroes, African Americans, and even as our brother said, we have these conditions that are on us, more than anybody else in the world, So we have the worst rate of, like the brother said, shooting each other, what else? Fatherless households, the highest rate of domestic violence. All right. So with that being said, we see that this has happened to people, and this group of people is the same nationality that came up from, like I said, my family's from the South also. All right, so from Mississippi, from Louisiana, but the same descendants that came off those slave ships. Now, the point of saying all that is to say this: the fathers being taken out of the household was systematically done, by the system who knows that the man being the head is what's best for the family. So with that being said, there are scriptures within what we're going to call the Bible. All right, there are scriptural texts that show this, which do help families to get back in order. Now, one of the curses that was put on the children of Israel, because I have to address that first, one of the curses that were put on us to show us not only who we are, because I can say that I'm any damn thing. I can say that I'm a Baptist, a Christian, a Muslim, I'm an Egyptologist. I can say I keep my eye, I can say, and I have to use that exactly now. I'm regretful I even have to, but I can say any one of those contexts. But the fact of the matter is, if my family went through all of these specific signs, and maybe I should start looking towards that direction to see what does those texts say, what do those codex say. Well, within it, there's a specific chapter. It's called Ephesians. All right, Ephesians chapter 5, and I'll go to it right now. So, and this is something that is helpful because the Israelite family, or the so-called black woman who doesn't know, how she's supposed to be with her husband, man. Because we weren't raised with fathers in the home. Why? Because the curse of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54 is one of those. So
wait one second. That's all right. It's choppy on my end. Brothers and sisters in the comment board, is it choppy on your end? Oh, yeah, somebody said he breaking up. Right.
All right. So I'm gonna try this again. I just unplugged my headphone.
You been breaking up on my end, bro. That's why I've been leaving it coming out.
Yeah, no sir. You sound good now, though. You sound good now.
Okay, hallelujah, hallelujah.
I mean, but y'all sound horrible on my end. Like I'm late. Like it's like it's a skill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, is it still doing that, King Seth?
Yeah. Huh?
Is it still doing that even now?
Yeah. Because I want to be able to hear you clear.
It's kind of choppy. All right. Maybe you could try to go back in and see.
Yeah, Kareem was saying yeah too.
Yeah, so it seemed to be a little choppy, man. So try it again, Karate Zaya, Bubba Shop.
Yeah, no worries. All right, so shalom, people. All right, a very short talking to see if it's working, if we're still choppy.
Yes, good. You good.
Okay, you good. Hallelujah. All right, so I won't go over the whole thing, but to be brief, because of the disobedience of our forefathers is what led us into slavery, into the southern regions from Louisiana all the way up to Canada. All right. Now, one of those issues that happened within this condition of our people integrating with other cultures and other nations, as the Father told us not to do, was that our families were broken up. A lot of heartbroken young men, staring out the window many late nights, or, saying that, young girls, needing their fathers, and the fathers were taken out of the household. Why? Because of the curse of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54, which states, and his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Now, that's not a promotion of the Israelite family or the so-called Black African-American family being broken up. That's a curse and a condition for us following such customs as ma'at, following such customs as the other nations, integrating. The Father separated our family, and then, with that being said, He told us how to put ourselves back together. It was by returning to the law, statutes, and commandments, and believing in the prophet that He said would come for us. So He tells the women how to monitor their families and raise their families. And I'm going to give a solution, which we can find in any Negro, Black, church, whatever, Bible. It's all written there. So this is an example of how to help our families. All right. Written from the Bible, the book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 4 through verse 5. All right. And it's speaking on the mothers and the women. And if there's mothers and women and you want to learn how to fix your families, I encourage you all, even if you don't believe in the way of our nationality being Israelites, if you practice Ma'at, then you have to go and observe you have to go and observe laws and be open to other knowledge. So here's one for you to take. The book of Titus, chapter 2, and I'm going to start at 4 and 5, and it reads, that they may teach the young women to be sober. So the Torah, our book, tells us to teach the young women to be sober, not to be out into the streets. All right. Not to be involved in drugs and alcohol. All right. To love their husbands. So to not be harlots. So we see already this book is helping us to bring our culture back by teaching the women to be sober. All right. To love their husbands, to love their children. All right. Line number 5, to be discreet, not bare-breasted, not showing too much of their promiscuity, to be chaste, not fast, not harlots, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of Yahweh be not blasphemed. So this is a wonderful text for any woman or man to use. Man, I have daughters. So with me raising my daughters, this is the principle out of the Bible that I teach all the daughters that I know. Matter of fact, not even my own. I teach every daughter that I know, Sister Cubby, in this principle in these books.
All right, wait. Okay. You was choppy for a second. Go ahead, Salakia.
No worries, the water. So with that being said, I'll yield the floor. I believe that anyone who has an ear for wisdom can take Titus chapter 2 and learn how to raise their daughters, their mothers, even our older family members that are women. So absolutely, here's a wonderful example. Titus chapter 2.
The All right, Seth. Did you hear the question? I was kind of jumping in and out.
Man, I barely heard what Karate Zaya said, man. It's like, I don't know what I can do. I don't know if it's on your end.
I don't know. It seemed like every time I spoke, it kind of cleared up. So I can hear you clear now. So basically, the brother, just kind of was speaking about, I was asking about the home, marriage, husband and wife, and some of the issues that we have being, having fatherless homes. What does Mayat teach us about helping our marriages in our home? You understand? Give us your thoughts and also any references of Mayat that can help us.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Y'all? Well, simply, man. I mean, like you said before, man. Race first. The race first principle brings to the family homes also too, because my teaches you self-discipline. My teaches you to love your family. Marriage and women were very important in Kemetic culture. And this is a practice that they followed for 5,000 years. One of the greatest civilizations ever built. These people invented paper. Yes, marriage, the family. That's what I said. Haru and Asar represent marriage. That's what my brings to it. Now, how can we do that? Because it shows. How can we take example from my in the way of Kemetic culture is by looking at we can look at it in stone. Statues of Pharaoh and his wife, man and woman and child. That's the family. That's once you start following, once you start following my, it brings a whole nother light to you. You know, it's like it's like you don't know everything, but you know a little bit about a lot, and you know the balance between nature. You know not things not to do. You know to help your brother. You know not to defile his woman. You know not to defile your wife. And these things that you bring into your household to your child. These are principles, and this is an everyday walk. That's why we use terms like I. We say I when I come in. You know, I have not done this. I have not made my wife cry. I have not done this. I have not spoken other people's business. I have not murdered. I have not ordered somebody to get murdered. These are things because you're taking self responsibility for what you do that day, all day. So with this on your mind, you maintaining the household and you teaching your children to take accountability. You teaching your wife, so therefore you work as a team, a well-oiled machine. That's what it's supposed to be. That's how it is. And once you start following your marriage, it becomes it becomes better just for the simple fact that both of y'all are on the same page. Nobody is beneath each other. Everybody has a role to play, and we play it well with the agreement based on me, my wife, and what's best for the household. Okay, yeah, I make the decisions. I'm the head. Yeah, that's cool. But my wife, she has to say so also. She's equal to me. My wife could make more money than me. My wife can support me if I have hard times. We are black males in America. Black women are the number one educated people on the earth. Well, in America, black women are. So why take away and limit her? That makes your marriage bad because she's not happy. If one person in your team is not happy, then what happens? The machine falls apart. Chink and a chink. So what you have to do, fix that to have harmony, balance, justice, and truth in your house. This is what my eye does to your marriage because you devote yourself to one person and you give that person your all. That's why truth is important. That's why harmony is important. That's why balance is important. Wisdom is important. You know, women are emotional. Men are rational. That's balance. That's yin and yang. You see what I'm saying? This is what my eye does for you, your wife, and your household. Now your child is watching this. Your child is seeing this. You hold yourself to a high court of standards. You're not murdering. You're not killing. You're not defiling the community. You're not selling no drugs. You're not doing none of that. You working for an honest buck. You own your own business or whatever you're doing, such and such. You walking the way of life, the way you live. Y'all eating. Everybody pulling their weight. We making money. Everybody's happy. It's no I'm beneath you. Like I say, that's what makes your marriage bad, man. That's what make the woman sorry that she ever married you. And then this is what you want to try to tell our black women to do? No. I'm not saying that it's all up to the black man to do it too. The black women have a responsibility to also to see and to try the same way we do. It's an obligation. Race first.
All right, man.
With that, I yield the flow.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
All right, yeah, Maya, Slaka.
Yeah.
All right, before we go to the next topic, I just want to touch on that one more time. You know, as our brother was giving this piece, I went and pulled up. I want to give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just want to document them. 5 texts that because this is a very important question. So we need guidelines, we need rules, to live by. We follow the rules of the road, the rules whenever we go to our, job, plantations, whatever. We have to know, the rules of life. So I do subscribe that the Torah was given to us, to help us throughout life. So in the context of looking at family, children, I just want to give 5 very short scriptures to any man or woman that's listening that would like to find reference on how they can help their families immediately. All right. So with that being said, uh, Titus chapter 2, verse 4 through verse 5. And you can write this down for yourself. I'm not going to read them in their entirety for the sake of time and respect of the council. Titus chapter 2, verse 4 through verse 5, it teaches what? That young women learn how to honor, respect, and love their husbands. Okay. So if anybody's having young women that's in their families, young ladies that you're raising up, you don't know how to do it a different way, you go to the Torah, go to the Bible, look at the book of Titus chapter 2, and you'll learn about raising young women. There's a book also called Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 25. So now we see that we are given a commandment. Husbands, love your wives, even as Mashiach, or as Christ, who was the Negro that was murdered for our sins. All right. Yahushua is his name. He did die. He was put in a sepulcher and he was resurrected. And this story was known by Adam at the beginning of the first world. So it's not a new concept of a Messiah coming. He came through the bloodline of those Negroes that went to slavery in Louisiana, in the Mississippi, Florida natives, etc. So he's the one, he says, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church. The word church means the body, the government, our nationality. The word church means army. It doesn't mean the place where our mothers went and worshiped and they cried for 4 hours. That was a good thing that they did. The word church literally means me and you. All right. So husbands are commanded to love our wives, even as the Messiah also loved the body, or the church, and gave himself for it. So now we're seeing instructions are even told to us from us, to give our lives for our ribs, for our women. All right. And then very shortly, Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. And anybody can just rewind this. And this is a whole family setup within less than 10 minutes breakdown. Proverbs 22, 6, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. All right. And we're commanded to teach the children the commandments of our Allahiyah, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Notice I said Abraham first. All right. So train up a child in the way he will grow, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. All right. Last 2. Okay. The book of Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 4. Again, addressing fathers, because we're looking at healing the community. What's better for the community? Ma'at, or teaching our family and our children with self-responsibility and accountability, teaching them the customs that our foreparents knew. All right. I can say I'm whatever religion I want to now. Guaranteed, when my mothers and my grandfathers was in the slave fields, in the cotton fields, right here in the good old United States, they were keeping these customs. All right. Even if it was by the force of what was miseducated to them, I came over here. So this is a principle. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4, and that ye fathers provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up and nurture them in admonition of Yahweh. So we're told, we're commanded. So we can find these laws, they're given to us. And if we're looking at what's best for our family, for our community, let's look at the structure. That's what's already been given to us by Negroes such as Abraham, Jacob, Joseph. All right. All of these so-called black people, which are documented in a historical text, which is called the Bible today, left us instructions on how to heal our families. All right. So Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4, we just went from the mother to the father to the children. Now back to the father. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of Yahweh. So we're to bring up our children in our Allahiyah. Our family creed is Shemai, Yasher Allah, Yahweh, Allahiyah Nawa, Yahweh Achad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh is our power. Yahweh is one. So bringing our Yaladim up with a bunch of different theologies and doctrines and different teachings is not heavy. It's not healthy. All right. So last one is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 2. And it reads, honor thy father and thy mother, which is a commandment with promise. Somebody can say that they did do this. but we have to be addressed. We have to be told. So we teach our children. So that's not to address, anybody that's on this panel, because I believe that these men that's on this panel know this. But I'm personally addressing anybody that wants to know the answer to that question again that was proposed. Are there any texts to teach us or to help us how to govern our families? There absolutely are, and they've been written in the history book of the Negroes, which is also called the Bible. And I yield the floor.
Yo, man, I appreciate it, man. As everyone can see, King Seth, I hope you can see it as well. I haven't put you brothers on timers or anything. I let you rock. You know what I mean? I really want you to be able to get your points out. And I have more questions. But I don't want to hog the first. I don't want to hog the show. So I'm going to pass this off to you, brothers, so you can interact with one another. Also, shout out to the Information Age, Black Jesus Radio. Link up, man, with these brothers and sisters who are supporting us as well. I just want to make sure I acknowledge those supporters who've been with us from the beginning. All right, bringing information and trying to make an impact on our community, which we all are. So what I want to do now is I want to pass it off to you, brothers. But I want the brothers and sisters you watching and those that are in the comment board, get your questions ready. Right, we're going to open up after these brothers go a couple of rounds back and forth. We're going to open up for you all to be able to ask these brothers any questions that you want to ask them as we continue to make preparations for the debate on December 7th, right here on Yah World 777 on YouTube. So you all will be able to, so these brothers will be able to bring their, I believe these brothers have got slides prepared. Brothers are going to be bringing forth some powerful information to substantiate their point. So it's very important that you stay tuned. And the Lions Den, we have more debates on the way. We have a team debate with Solomon League, Lions Den versus Solomon League. We'll be updating you more about that very soon. But right now, I want to turn the floor over to you, brothers. And I believe Karatazar just went. So King Steph, you have the floor to ask any question you want to ask. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
I just want to. I'm gonna say I want to read one scripture. I want to read one scripture about what you were saying about the race first in this right here. This is Matthew. This is Matthew. Starting at verse Matthew 15, verse. I'm gonna start at 23. Well, nah, I'm gonna start at 22. Now everybody know a Canaanite, right? Canaanite black people. Everybody know the Canaanites was black. Start this story off. A Canaanite woman from the vicinity came to him crying out, "Lord, son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is suffering terribly and demon possession." Jesus did not answer a word. So his disciple came to him and urged him, "Send her away, for she keeps crying out after us." He answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel." The woman came and knelt before him. "Lord," she said. He replied, "It is not right to take children's bread and toss it to their dogs." "Yes, Lord," she said, "but even the dogs eat the crumbs and fall from their master's table." Then Jesus answered the woman, "You have great faith, and requested is granted." Now, is it race first? Was that was a Canaanite woman crying out for help? He damn near he just called her a female dog. He just and she agreed. And she agreed. This is the guy. This is I don't want to disrespect the man. I don't know his whole name, so I'm just gonna say y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm gonna say Jesus for now. He just basically called her a B. So it's more that's not race first to me. I mean, if I was a woman, if I was a black woman, and you told me that too, and you're supposed to be the savior of the world, I hate you too. Man, this dude just called me a female dog, man. And I was begging for help. But my question to the brother, let's say you had a vision, right? Let's say you had a vision from the Most High. Let's say you had a vision from the Most High. And it told you that Brother Jeremiah was evil and you needed to kill him. Would you do it?
No.
That's your question.
Yes, that's my question.
I appreciate you throwing me under the bus, using me as an example of death.
Cause you his brother, you his brother,
Okay.
man. You his brother. So
Okay.
to me, in my eyes, nah, I'm gonna let the brother answer the question.
All right. Go ahead, Kratza. Yeah.
All right, Khan. So Thawada, so two parts. One, going back to Matthew chapter 15, the Messiah absolutely did refer to that Canaanite woman as a dog. All right. And she, as you stated yourself, also did agree. All right. But you did imply something afterwards. You said, if I was a woman, I would hate him too. But actually, what happened was she loved him even more, because even though that was not a race first thing, it was a race first thing, because out of his own mouth, he said, it's not right to give the children, it's not meat to give the children bread unto dogs. So that is race first in itself, brother. So thank you for presenting that. The other part is that her faith and believing in the Messiah, even though she was not from our nationality, she still got her blessing from him. So thank you for not disrespecting him, because he also is the same one who not only gave us our natural, he gave us our breath, but he gave a blessing to this Gentile woman because of her faith. Now, last point on that, there's a book, and I encourage you to read it. It's called Clementine Homilies. Clementine Homilies. It tells the story of this woman for the rest of her life, her and her children. And then after he died, her children continued in the ministry too. So following the Messiah is a very good thing. Even if he says something very crude to you or seeming crude, it can help you. All right. Now, my next question is the next question I'll answer with this. So would I murder my brother because of a dream? An emphatic and a very hard la. No. So now let me read one of the reasons why. All right. First, but he's my brother. Thou shalt not murder. Second, love your neighbor as yourself. We can just go on. But I don't listen to dreams. So Sirach chapter 23, verse 1. Sirach 23, verse 1. And please, I present scripture so you can document them. So everybody that's at the sound of my voice can document them, hear them, and go back. I'm not a debater. I'll tell the truth. I'm not a debater. I just speak the word of Yahweh. So with that being said, I'll let his word speak. I will not murder my brother. All right. Another thing, I don't listen to dreams. Ecclesiasticus chapter 34, verse 1. The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools. Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth a shadow and followeth after the wind. The vision of dreams is as the resemblance of one thing to another, even as the likeness of a face to a face. So even if in my dream it looked like Jeremiah, I don't listen to dreams, and then I would know it's not my brother. Jeremiah follows the Torah, which is a document that's given to our people, the same Negroes who went into slavery in Louisiana, Texas, Florida, South Carolina, Mississippi. All right. And in that same book that we were singing songs about on the plantation fields, one of the major commandments is to not murder our brother, to not even hate our neighbor in our heart. All right. So with that being said, to answer your question, I would not.
All right, great. All praises. So I believe now, Karatazaya, is your opportunity to ask your question.
Con. So my question to the brother King is: Do you believe that we should teach our people spiritual afterlife investment? And what I mean is working to do righteousness, and so that we may have us and our children, because it's not just about us, it's about our children, right? Nationality first. So do you believe that we should teach our children and we should follow practices for a healthy spiritual afterlife investment? Do you believe in,
Uh,
teaching?
um, I believe you said, do I believe do I teach our children to have a healthy afterlife? Am I getting it right? Because y'all breaking up, and I'm trying to catch it.
The water.
So
Thank
if I'm right,
you. Khan. Yes.
yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, no, I teach my children, and I teach my friends that really actually don't know to live a healthy life. Because if you how you gonna have a healthy afterlife if you don't have a healthy life? If you don't have a righteous life, this is what my idea is. The walk of life. That's why your heart is being weighed. It's being weighed by your deeds that you did in life. So, oh, I don't teach for a healthy death. I teach for a healthy life.
Not a healthy death, brother, but investment in a spiritual afterlife is what I'm asking.
Oh, a spiritual afterlife. Oh yes, of course. For the spirit to be, released, and I believe in me personally. I actually believe in reincarnation. I walk my act, but I believe the deeds that I do, this energy that's in my body, which I believe is the soul. I believe that it will probably come back most likely as another life. Can I prove it? No. Is it facts? No. What is it? It's just a belief. I believe that, but I follow my act. I walk my act so I can come back or be an ancestor. But I believe in reincarnation. So yes, I teach for a great spiritual life. Because without a healthy life, then you can't have a good spiritual life at all. So you must walk my act.
The water. I know this is a question within a question, but you just raised my curiosity. Does my aunt actually teach reincarnation?
No.
The water. Thank you.
All right, so King Seth.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yes, sir.
I
It's
thought
your
you were
turn.
saying.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, I'm asking you this because I'm assuming that you're a guy that uh that follows all the statutes, laws, and commandments. You're that type of Hebrew. I'm assuming. Am I right? I'm assuming that. So if I'm right or if I'm wrong, you can correct me. But I'm asking this for that specific reason. Does when like if you have a girl or a wife or anything like that, you personally, if she comes on her cycle, does she have to sleep in another room or on the floor or anywhere else with 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 your doctrine, with what you teach, with the statute, laws, and commandments? Is that something that you practice personally?
All right. So the water. One, I don't talk about my inner household family, especially when it deal with my women. If I have women, I don't. We're on a public live broadcast that's on it, so I'm not gonna. I don't talk about that. But and I don't think it's wise for any man to do it. On a public broadcast. I think it would be if I did or if I didn't. I think it wouldn't be honorable to my women who do have a natural purgation. So I can still answer the question, but I will not give information about my personal house. But first, and I will answer the question.
Respect.
Throughout hallelujah, I respect all praise, and that's in showing love not only for me but for my daughters. For if there are
Respect.
any women, for just showing respect to them. So, um, now another really great law, another really great principle for our people to learn. So even though this conversation is directed between me and King, all right, this is also I'm speaking to the world. So if you understand truth, law, Torah law, if you're really investigating which one you want to practice, Tawara, Torah instructions, or Ma'at, it's up to you to really read and follow the principles. So one is we're encouraged to not assume. Making assumptions isn't something that the Father told us to do as being wise men. We're to be grave, we're to be sagacious, but making assumptions is something that we shouldn't do. All right. So let me read this real quick. So this is Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach. All right. This is chapter 3 and verse 24. And it reads, "For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment." All right. Many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment. All right. So it's not wise for us to operate in that caliber. And when one of the elders in the truth showed that to me, it really helped me to level up also. So I encourage all men of the Most High to excel. Now, to get back to the brother's original question, now during the time of purgation, according to the Torah, according to the instructions and the customs of our people, there is a difference between being clean and unclean. When a woman is on her natural, again, purgation, her menstruation, her flow, in Hebrew, her pah, P-A-H, her pah, when she's during that time frame, the women themselves should be honorable within themselves to know that their purgation is not a clean substance. It's not a clean substance. So since it's not a clean substance, and it does have the ability to be able to, transfer, then that woman within herself should have the respect, not only for her body. We have sense, we have smell, all right, cleanliness, uncleanliness. All right, that sister, which were the majority of the time our mothers raised them, they were taught to be clean, to be set apart. All right. Now, let's say for me personally, because I respect you, so I'm answering the question to this degree. If I was inside of one of my households and there was a sister that was on the time of her flower, then she would be respected. She would more than likely have an oil on, such as hyssop or lily, and she would smell nice and be respectfully known within our household that this sister set apart. I would not lay with her. I would not have any type of physical interaction with her. All right. I would keep myself and my children set apart for holy convocation so that we can go to the Father in a more set apart state. So I hope that answers the question.
Come. Karatazaya, it's your turn. All right. So, family, I want you to get your questions ready. If you have any questions for these brothers, go ahead and start uploading them. This will be the last round of questions between these brothers. And go ahead and we'll come to you for any questions you want to ask these brothers as we make preparation for their debate on December 7th. December 7th at 7 p.m. Central Time. All right. So, to you brothers, these will be the last set of questions. Karatazaya, I'll give you a question. King Seth, I'll give you a question. Then we'll go to the question comment board. All right. Is that okay with y'all, or y'all need more rounds than that? Y'all let me know.
That's fine, Malak.
Cool. Okay. All right.
All right.
All right. Yeah. It's a lot of conversation going on in the comment board, man. But I'm trying to keep it on topic. I'm trying to stay focused on what we're here for, what is best for Black people. I think is a very important conversation that needs to be had. And I look forward to you brothers presenting your presentation on December 7th, 7 p.m. on Yah World 777. Karatazaya, the floor is yours.
Okay, all praise. So, Malak, or King, M-A-L-A-K, Malak, King. So Malak, I was when this was brought to me initially, I didn't want to touch it at all, you know. And the reason being is because I do have a very solid, secure, I have a very solid, secure stance on how the Father wants our people to operate, and it's learning. I'm increasing even better through Him by Shema Shekel Shah. So when I look at other cultures or look at other belief systems, that is one of the main things that I do investigate is how is this for the embetterment of my people, of course, myself too, but my people. All right. So, and looking at my one of the questions that I had was, are there any laws specifically, like we just read off, family matters, etc. But are there any laws with Ma'at that teaches that a brother should be the same way that the practitioner of Ma'at should be.
What's happening?
Are there any laws that are in Ma'at that can you hear me okay, King? Can you
Man,
hear me
I,
okay? Yeah, Maya, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Did you hear his question? You need him to pose it again, Karatazaya Salaki.
No worries, no worries. So, looking at if Ma'at is better for our people, or if the Torah is better for our people, are there laws within Ma'at that teaches others how to behave and love each other?
you saying, oh, that laws in my eye that will make who behave with each other. That's what I, cause like I'm saying, you coming in and like I heard you say, is there anything in my eye or laws of my eye that will make us what?
Others love the way that you love. Teach others to behave as it teaches you to behave. Or
Oh,
yes,
okay, teach others how to behave. Okay, yeah, let's go through a couple and let's see in the predicament that black people are in. Let's see if some of these laws right here will help black people. I'm gonna name five real quick. I have not I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not stolen. I have not slain men or women.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I have not been.
I'm cutting you off. Please, will you please teach me where you are so we can look with you?
You say what?
Will you please teach me where you're reading from so we can read with you?
I'm on. I just pulled up a. I just pulled up one. That's all I did. The 42 divine principles of my eye. And you asked me how can this teach people to behave? Correct? And I'm
La'a,
paraphrasing, but
la'a. No, as Ma'at says, I, all the way down. Are there any principles within Ma'at that teaches the neighbor or the other family members or other community members to be the same as the reader?
but brother, I'm sorry, man, but I don't.
He says,
It's not working.
yeah, he says, can you hear me clear? He says,
Yeah,
my
you out
eye,
of there too, yeah, Maya. You out of there too, brother.
yeah,
Like
well,
y'all
let me
breaking up
see.
real bad.
Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2. Is that any better? Clear?
Nah, bro.
I can hear you fine. I can hear you fine, your man.
Yeah, King Seth, I don't know what's going on, brother. I can hear you clearly. I can hear Karatazaya clearly. Basically, the question is, my eye has a lot of
Can I pat?
I.
Can I patch in through Messenger?
Yeah, you can. Do what you mean on the people won't be able to see you, but if you could, you
On the
got
what?
another
What?
device that you can call me on.
Let me see. Cause I got my little. I just realized I had this laptop up there. Let me see. Oh no, I gotta go to my email.
Hey, Malak King, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, and you can do this while you're looking for your email. You did say something earlier. You said that there was a pharaoh who took in the Israelites. I was hoping you could edify on that.
You said I said something earlier. and you need some
Pharaoh
edifying on it,
took
right?
in Israelites. Pharaoh took in the Israelites.
Pharaoh, who
Took in the Israelites. You said Pharaoh took them in. You said Pharaoh took in the Israelites earlier.
took in, yeah. When Joseph's family was famine, when they was in famine, and they came to Egypt, and they didn't recognize Joseph because he had interpreted Pharaoh's dream, and he the 7 years of plenty saved for the 7 years of bad,
Who are
right?
Khan? Who are
Hey, King Seth, Josh Shu said you got that Dallas Metroplex internet. It's rough out there.
He ain't why did he ain't lying, and this his city. This where he from. Ain't that the same? See, I'm from Houston, so I'm from Houston, man. They backwoods up here anyhow.
Right. Yeah, man. So I mean, I don't know if you can hear me clear, man, but the brothers were saying something about my
I heard that.
yeah, he said something about my aunt using a lot of eyes. I will not, I will not. He said, is there anything in my aunt that tells your neighbor how to treat you? Correct me if I'm wrong, Karatazaya.
Khan? If there's community rules of my art, or if it's just singular individual.
Yeah. Yo, man, shout out to the family, man. You know what I'm saying? We 33 plus strong in here, man. We appreciate y'all hanging in with us with the technical difficulties that we're having with Dallas Metroplex Internet. All right, we brothers and sisters say they can hear us. They're saying they can hear us. Heretics in the building, right? So was you able to was you want to call in on your computer there? Seth?
Do I want to what?
Was you calling me on your
Oh, I
computer?
can
So
call in.
you can
You said I
call
can
me.
call in.
You can call me on. You got Messenger on your computer?
Yeah, but it ain't mine. I can call you on my phone.
Nah, that ain't
Let
gonna
me
work.
see. Let me see what I can do.
Your boy D1 said everybody sound good on his phone. All right, brothers and sisters. For those that are waiting, get your questions. I see us. A lot of questions coming in right now. A lot of questions coming in. I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna read your questions to the brothers. Let me know who you're asking the question to. Direct your question to King Seth or Karatazaya. See if I can put their names up here. There we go. There's their names, brothers and sisters. If you have any questions for either brother, I'm about to go to the question and answers for you all. But I want Karatazaya to be able to get his question off, and then King Seth to get his question off, so I can get to you all. Go ahead and start dropping your questions in there. I'll get to them.
That's fine. Yamar, we can go ahead and move forward to the next thing.
All
Yeah,
right,
go
Seth,
ahead.
can you hear?
I'm trying to. I can hear, but I'm gonna try to do as best I can, man.
Kind of. All right. So while the brother's doing that, I did have something else that just Most High just gave, and it's on the form of family. So when we're looking at the family and the correction of the family, something that's a terrible, plague that's upon our people is adultery. All right. So the Israelite culture and nationality principles that are given from the Most High, all right, they do not teach or promote such things as adultery, sodomy, laying with the woman when she's on a natural purgation. All right, and that's another thing that I really wanted to speak on, because we see that this is something that's an issue. If we find a principle that teaches how to keep our families not only together and everybody following the same guidelines, I believe that we should stick to that. So with that being said, I don't see that within my the teaching of sanctity or the teaching of purity. And the reason being is because the system that is based upon isn't based off of the correct principles of what we stand, or the higher principles that we actually call for family structure. So I continually encourage everybody to go back to uh the ancestral ways, even if some family members was hurt in church. Like I had a family member die, or the church was mean to me, or whatever. We got to put back beyond us our childhood Sunday Christian mentality, and actually be adults and look at if we're looking at Ma'at for principles on life. All right. Um, I do propose to say that there is a stance that's greater, which the principle of Ma'at is supposed to be truth, if that's correct. If I'm correct, let me continue. If not, then please cut me off.
That's that's just one of them.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Tuwada, do you want to edify out?
Yeah, it's truth, balance, justice, and harmony,
Hallelujah. So with
and wisdom.
hallelujah. With true balance, justice, and harmony, and wisdom. All right. We should be able to see these things in the origins and the making of it, but also in the results of it. So I know that in all cultures, that there are issues, but with specifically the Israelite doctrine, teaching, nationality, culture, history, the law, the book that was given, something that's not permitted is adultery, and that's a major thing that helps to destroy the Israelite family. All right. So I would encourage all of our sisters and brothers to continue to look at the Torah so they can see how to heal their families also. And I yield the floor.
You said that ancient. You said we should go back to our ancient ancestral ways. No, Ma'at is our ancient ancestral ways. It says so right here in the Bible, Proverbs chapter 8, Proverbs chapter 9, Proverbs chapter 11, verse 1. It speaks as wisdom as a woman. Speaks as wisdom as a woman. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 1. And what does it say? The Lord abhors dishonest scales. That's smart. Where did it come from? Smart. Ma'at is in the Torah. It's in the Quran. Ma'at is the mother of these three Abrahamic faiths. She birthed them. It says it's wisdom, man. Proverbs is wisdom's call. Does it not speak as wisdom as a woman? Then it ended off with dishonest scales. I mean, it sounds like my me. But you're right, though. We do need to go back to our ancient ways. You're correct. And you said you want to see where it worked. Man, Kemet was one of the greatest civilizations to ever be on the face of this earth. You know how many things I mean, not we. I'm not my nationality. I'm not from Kemet. But do you know what Kemet did for the world? Imhotep, this man is still in modern medicine today. What he built is still standing. It's still there on the walls. Still there. Almost 5,000 years. 35 dynasties. And the only reason why it stopped working is because of Ptolemy when he came in. You see, you say you don't see these things, but they right there. They left it in stone. It's right there. How you can't see that? It's giant pyramids in Africa right now. And you saying, what can it do? Ma'at, they live Ma'at from the first to the 25th dynasty and rewrote it and did all the kind of things to it after that. That's facts. This is what they came to eat. This is what they came to Kemet and did. Almost 5,000 years. Medicine, paper, writing, wigs, makeup, hairbrushes. Come on. I mean, this is medical tools that you. What you mean you can't see it? It's right there in your face. No disrespect, but most likely y'all probably don't want to see it. Y'all don't want to see this greatness that's written in stone. Not in the book. Not in the only place I can really find this in the book. You got pieces to a puzzle, but the whole thing is right there in Africa and Egypt. All you got to do is just go there and see it. This is what for my following my does for black people. We can get back to we can get back to Kemet. We can get back to living great. We can get back to having fathers in the house. We can get back to being not. We can get back not having disrespectful women, as you say. We can get back to not experiencing police brutality, a unfair judicial system. If we follow these principles, if we walk this walk, if you walk that walk, then you also gonna talk that talk. And see what my eye is. My eye ain't nothing hard. My eye ain't saying, "Oh man, if you cut, you can't shave. You gotta wear fringes. You gotta do this, and you gotta do this now." It's simple. Be a human being, your brother. Love your brother, your people first. Because why? Because you're under oppression. We live in we almost living in militarized zones around here, man. So now we got to do what? Look out for our own. Look out for self and protect self. This is what my heart brings, man. You see what I'm saying? They said, you know what I'm saying, professors and scholars say that in order to do this, it had to be the highest level of cooperation. This is cooperating with your brother. You see what I'm saying? This is what my heart brings to the world. You can see it. It's right there. Just open your eyes, brother, and look. It's right there. And then when you go south, you can see where it came from. The Sudan. 250 pyramids in the Sudan. What they did, follow the river. Because it floods in Egypt. Famine, facing famine in the Egypt in Nubia, Sudan, and Ethiopia. Experienced famine. So what they did, follow the river where it flooded every year. And continue that culture. That's all they did was bring it from there and they brought it up there and intensified it times 10. This is what happens when we're left alone. This is what happens when we do our greatness on our own, when we follow Ma'at, when we sit here and take these principles and walk that walk. This is what that is. And I yield the floor.
Con. All right, family. So, unless you have something else for us, yeah, we're gonna go move on to the questions, the comment board. I think we got about another 5 minutes or so. We'll try to get to these questions. I see a question here. King Seven says, "What was the date?" You can see it on the screen there. What was the date the 42 laws was written? What was the date
Nobody
that
knows.
nobody
Nobody
knows?
knows. And I'm not gonna nobody knows.
All right. All right.
So like I do have a question for Ak now for our brother. So Ak, I got a question for you. You said from the first dynasty to the 25th dynasty, Ma'at was being practiced.
Yeah.
Am I on? Yo, Ak, can you hear me okay? Jeremiah, can you
Say
hear me
what?
okay?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. I can hear you clearly. Seth, did you hear the question?
Yeah, he breaking up, but I'm getting along as I get along, and I'm doing good. I hope
Yeah,
I ain't going out too far off thinking I'm hearing something else.
Con. So so you said I just want to just land me back off something you said, and if you don't mind, can you edify on this? You said from the 1st century to the 21st century, Ma'at was being kept.
You said when was my eye being kept?
Was it being kept between the 1st century and what else?
He said the 1st to the 25th century. Or
First to
excuse me,
the
dynasty,
25th.
dynasty. 1st to the 21st.
First to the 25th dynasty. From the first to the
To the
25th
25th.
dynasty.
Yeah, I can even do better. I can even do better. I can do better. You want me to do better? I can do better.
Bring it
Watch this.
out. Bring it out.
I ain't gonna break him down. I ain't gonna break it down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna answer his question
Right.
thoroughly. You understand me?
Thorough.
Thoroughly. But I'm gonna
Right.
do it with 6 women. I'm gonna do it with women. Watch this. Women,
All right. Be careful.
rulers.
Be careful. I sound like
Six,
polygyny. Be
6
careful.
women. I'm gonna give you this. Six women rulers of Kemet. 6 women ruler. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna give you 5. I'm gonna give you
All
5.
right.
Mernev, 2970 BC, 1st century. I mean, 1st dynasty. So Bekanu 1806 to 1802 BC, 12th dynasty. Nefertiti, 1353 to 1336 BC, 18th dynasty. Tepsu, 1478, 1458 BC, 18th dynasty. And Teresret, 1191 or 1189 BC, 17th dynasty. So my eye shows what? Everything that everything that when I name these women, that's all in, because you can see the balance. You can see the harmony. You can see this is my eye. If it wasn't my eye, then a woman couldn't rule. If it wasn't those principles, then the man wouldn't even be strong enough to even to rule over, to rule the kingdom. That's how they got great. So there you go. I gave you
All right.
5, 2 and 1 great reasons.
Okay, Thawada. So you said
Appreciate that.
to the 25th dynasty, Khan. So you said Ma'at has been being kept from the 1st to the 25th dynasty, correct?
You said what?
Okay. So you were saying that Ma'at was kept from the 1st to the 25th dynasty, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
What was the
correct.
name of the first pharaoh, if you don't mind?
You say what?
Will you please teach us the name of the first pharaoh?
Pharaoh.
Khan.
You want me to teach you Pharaoh? Are you
Yes.
breaking up, bro? So I'm not understanding. I mean, okay, how you say it, Salaki? Salaki, but you chopping up. I apologize, bro. I'm not trying to aggravate you or get on your nerves or whatever. Look like you're frustrated. I ain't trying to do it. It's the phone, bro. I apologize.
All right, so I'm trying to learn and see if you know the name of the first pharaoh, and if you do, will you please share the name of the first pharaoh?
The first pharaoh of Egypt. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I gotta look that up. I got it, but I gotta look that up.
Okay.
The first pharaoh of Egypt, because I'm really not understanding the question. Like, you want me to teach you? You want me to tell you who the first pharaoh of Egypt was?
Right. So we're saying that, and cut me off if the sound cuts off. It's completely fine. All right. So we're saying that Ma'at was being kept from the 1st to the 25th dynasty, correct? If it is, correct. then what is the name of the first Pharaoh that was Pharaoh of Egypt?
I don't know the first. I don't know the name
Right.
of the first
And
pharaoh.
that's why I want to find out, because I want to find out what was his name. And if so, I do want to find out if he were teaching his principles of Ma'at, because if so, then we can find out, well, where did he get them from? See? So
I mean,
that's the whole purpose
what
of
if he got what if he got them from an anonymous scribe? What if what if what if it just popped up? What if just they was just chilling one day and just carved it in just to say, man, this is such and such and such. I think these are great principles to live by and create a culture by. Because obviously, if I just told you that they brought it from, if I just told you that the mother of Egypt, the mother of Kemet, is Nubia, Sudan, and Ethiopia. If I just told you that, then obviously it didn't start from a pharaoh. It started from the south. So what? Even if I did know the name of the first pharaoh, these people migrated to Egypt and made Egypt like it was. They took their culture from those three places and brought it there and implemented it there. So I don't. I mean, from three civilizations, we're gonna narrow it down to who wrote it and what pharaoh. I can't tell you that.
the water.
All right, family. So we're gonna move to the question. The next question. The next question is for Karatazaya. Does race make religion second?
Does race make the religion ma?
Does race make religion second?
If we're saying race in the context of our nationality, I would say for the children of Israel, they go hand in hand, because our belief system is embedded within our nationality. All right. So um, if other nationalities or other cultures, religion should be second for other nationalities. And the reason why I say so is because all nations are supposed to come and learn the ways of the instructions that was passed down to Shem. All right. Shem had a son named Eber, and Eber gave birth to Abraham. And Abraham is the one who taught the pharaohs. So, with that being said, all nations, including the Egyptians, are supposed to turn back to the original instructions that were given. So, when it comes to Gentiles, then belief systems should be secondary. There are many Europeans that we're teaching right now how to come and be obedient. Now, that doesn't make them an Israelite, but they've forsaken Christmas, they've forsaken Thanksgiving, they've forsaken their fathers and their mothers so they can come and learn the ways of the ancients. All right. So with that being said, for Israelites, no, our nationality and our belief system go hand in hand, which is what makes us so unique. All right. We're not Israelites that's practicing Islam. We're not Israelites that's practicing Seven-Day Adventists. We're not Israelites that's practicing Egyptology. We're Israelites that's practicing the belief system or the religion, and I'm only using that because it's how it was proposed to me. We're Israelites who are practicing our culture. All right. So with that being said, religion, and just to go back to it, religion should only come secondary if it's a Gentile learning how to get down with the ways of the children of Israel. But for us, our nationality and our belief system go hand in hand, and they should never be separated.
All right, the water.
Well, yeah.
King Seth, the next question is for you. Um, can you explain Law 38 of Mayat? Law 38 of Mayat. Can you explain that?
The 38 law of my is that what I is that what I
Yes,
heard?
sir.
Gone 38.
I had looked that up myself. I got the Mayat on my phone ever since I set up this debate. I got the 42 laws on my phone. So let me see
Yeah,
what
I
law
can't get
38.
them on my phone. Shit, my phone. I'm on my phone. You know, I was trying to get it, but I can't.
If you want to, I can read it. I can read it to you.
Yeah, read. Give it up. Which one? Which one? I'm hopefully we're on the same one.
No worries. All right. What?
38. I have not placed myself on a pedestal. Which one you on? Which one you got? What would you like me to explain? You know what I'm saying? Read it out for me, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, law 38. You got it correct,
The one
Isaiah?
you got.
Yeah, Baba Kasha, I thought Korah.
Well, I'm a little. I'm a little. I don't think I would be best too, and the reason being is because I'm looking at the 42 negative confessions, and I'm seeing different laws, and they're so I don't know which ones to read from because they're not consistent.
Do you
So
have anyone that's at the
Which one?
38
Which
one?
one spark?
Ready and read that.
Which one sparks your interest? Because it's the same
Well, this,
principles,
this
just
question
different versions.
is for the comment board. So whatever 38 is, read that, correct, Isaiah. Baba Kasha.
Yeah, the one that
from
got
both
your
the lists,
interest.
I'm seeing three different lists. That's what I'm saying. So there's three lists, and none of them are comprising with each other.
Pick one and read
Okay, Kyle.
it.
Right. Pick one and read it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna say the 38. Um, I have not placed myself on the pedestal.
That's the one you want me to talk about?
Not us. It was a question that was asked on the comment board. I don't know if that's the correct one though.
What's the other one?
Who asked the question? Was it Jeremiah Judah?
I'm not exactly sure. Uh, my wife took the notes. She brought the list to me of the questions. So somebody on the panel.
Cause
Matter of fact,
Cause
it
I
was.
think he talking about I think he talking about where it say God. Where it
Yeah,
say
yeah, yeah. Read
where
that.
he wanted me to speak. He
It was
wanted
a
me to speak
different list.
on if we don't worship any gods. I already know. He asked me this question 10,000 times, but I'm gonna answer him thoroughly today. Even in
Hold
your
on,
book, bro, it say you are ye are
read that
gods.
exact question so the people watching can know what you're talking about.
You say what?
Can you read the exact question so the people know watching which law you're talking about?
Let me see. Right here. 42 ideals of my 38. I praise the gods and the goddesses and the god.
Yeah, can you explain that?
42 ideals of my
Yeah, the one I have says, I have not stolen what belongs to the gods or goddesses.
The one I have says I have not placed myself on a pedestal.
Yeah, that's the one with my she got the ankh in front of her. She got her wings in the air like scissors.
Khan. Khan. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one you looking at. Go over one more, but she's standing up. Her wing and got her like scissors. It's great, black and white.
Korah?
And then let me clarify this. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? I see y'all you like none of them the same. And you laughing, right? The gray one that I'm reading from it says is 42 ideals, and number 15 it says I care for the earth, right? So I'm finna go back to the first one I was reading. It said The first one I read said I will care for the earth. Now this one I'm reading, it says, the first one said I have not polluted the earth. No, here you go. I have not polluted the water. You see what I'm saying? It's all the same. It's the same principles. It's just simplified in some of them. Is I have not polluted the water. Care for the earth. Same thing. Don't pollute.
Okay.
These deals.
All right. No sweat. Karata Zaya, this next question is for you. Can you find any can you find any Hebrew books older than the Hasmonean dynasty?
If I did a diligent search, so thank you for asking. I'll go and look now.
Con. All right,
Well,
King Seth.
it wasn't on my to-do list, but I'll go and do it now.
No sweat. All right, King Seth, we have a question from Genesis 49. Genesis 49 wants to know. I'll put the question on the screen.
Yeah, put it on. Yeah, put all that on the screen. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Question is for
The
Seth.
ancient Egyptians believed. If so, that would make you a deist, seeing that my is the daughter of Ra. No, I don't. I don't see it as. I don't believe it as the ancient Egyptians believed it, because Ma'at is transitional. Ma'at can change within the times. Ma'at fits you. Ma'at is what's in present day. What's going on around you now. That's why I don't. I mean, if that's what they believe, they was a theist. They followed Ma'at. If that's what they believed, and that what they believed at that time was for them at that time and age. But Ma'at is still the same through the ages. You live these principles due to the time, due to what's going on around you, due to the economics, due to the social aspect of your life, everything, marriage, everything. It's the way you walk.
So
That's
do
what
you
my
believe
is.
that Mayat is divinely inspired?
Do I say my is a what? A divine faith?
Divinely inspired.
Divinely inspired? I mean, it depends. To me, it depends what you saying is divine. In my eyes, I'm divine. So
Okay.
I mean, if I think of something, if I think of a great idea, if I think of a great idea and I write it down, is it still not a great idea just because that if I said that it came from me? I mean, divinely inspired
Well,
by
I guess
what?
what I'm asking is, do you believe
People,
that Mayat?
people, people. Why did people do drug? People do drugs and get inspired by a lot of things. The drugs inspired them.
Well, I guess I'm asking, do you believe
So
that Mayat came from man's heart and mind, or did it come from divine intervention?
I believe it came from both. From
Okay.
both. Came
All
from
right.
a man's mind,
All right. No
and it
sweat.
came from something within you.
I have a question.
So King, go ahead.
Yeah. This is another question for Seth. Not trying to pile on, uh, but this question is for Seth. Are there any prophecies that come true in the Mayat? If so, please name a few. And is there any prophecies direct uh, directed toward the fall and famine of Egypt?
You want to let Karate Zaya ask me a question first, and then he asked me what he wanted.
Well, yeah, go ahead and answer this one first, and then we'll let Karate Zaya come in.
I bet. Nah, it's no. I mean, not that I've read any. It's no prophecies because it's nothing to prophesize with my eye. It's a walk of life. It's a discipline. That's what y'all failing to realize and understand. This is not a religion. This is not something that you pray to, or you deify. You see what I'm saying? At this point, if they did, that's what they did at that time. But these are principles, ways of life to walk. ideals. That's what 42 ideals of my art. This how prophecy is gonna come from how I treat my neighbor. Yeah, I give you a prophecy, my neighbor gonna treat me good back. That's a prophecy right there. You see what I'm saying? Like this is a walk. This is a way of life, bro. This is not no if you do this and do this, this gonna happen. It's not none of that. If you want that, I can tell you. If you save your money, then you'll have a lot of money. If I mean, do I need to? You need somebody to hold your hand. This is not a like I say. This is a self-righteous thing. This is something that is within you to do. This is something that you must learn to control your this. My teaches you how to learn how to control your habits or how to control whatever you have going on in your life.
Con.
You see
So,
how
bro, this is
but go
brother
ahead,
D
I yield the
Red.
floor.
Shout out to Damon. He says the earliest record of the law of Ma'at is Papyrus 1 to 1250 BC. Then he says the Masonic Mosaic Salakia, the Mosaic law is dated 1390 BC. I don't know if you brothers agree with those numbers, but that's what the information he brought forth. Karate Zaya, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Khan, the water.
All right,
Go ahead, Ak. Okay. So that was something that I did see with looking at my art is that, I'm going to agree with, Akanawa, with our brother Malak King, is because if you do participate with the confessions of Ma'at or the ideas of Ma'at, then it does teach and promote self-righteousness, which I don't promote or teach self-righteousness. Because for me to make the confessions that are in Ma'at, especially at the time frame when I'm supposed to make them, I don't think that it's good. Seeing as how I do, like earlier, the brother Malak asked me, do I keep the commandments of the Most High? And the Most High tells us, he says, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of the Alahaya. So for me to stand before, and that was another question I do have for Malak, for King, so I can get a better understanding of my brother. So for me to stand before, the Alahaya, the Most High, the Almighty Power, and to think that I'm going to look upon the Creator with my head high and say I have never done any of these things, it makes me a damn liar. All right. So self-righteousness is not a good thing. I won't teach that self-righteousness is a good thing, nor will I teach that, making these confessions are beneficial for us, especially if I know that, okay, well, but I have done these things in my lifetime. All right. Now, do I still currently do these things? Do I do them with a high hand? Do I do them willfully? No, absolutely not. All right. So that's something I want to investigate with you and this is specifically to you, King. Do you believe in Allahaya, or higher power? Is there what Allahaya, what master, what creator do you serve? Now, with you being a descendant of the Negroes that came off them plantations in the South, just like my family, the McNeils, you feel me? Those people didn't worship Egyptology. Those people worship the gods that Abraham, the God, singular, that Abraham worshiped. So I wanted to ask you, do you have Allahaya, a power of God and reverence? My hope is that it's Yahweh. All right. Even if you don't right now, I still want you to worship Yahweh, you know. But do you personally?
all right. I'm gonna answer all that. I wanna. All right, yeah, I'm gonna answer your question first. Then I'm gonna do. Do I believe in a higher power? I'm not gonna say I'm gonna give it a name. I believe in the universe, bro. I believe in karma. I believe in reincarnation. You know what I'm saying? I believe if you're doing a good deed, then you're doing a good deed. I might say, is it a man in the sky with a pen and a paper? Is it some pearly gates up there with streets paved of gold and mansions everywhere? I don't know. I can't say that. this is a I can't say that it's I'm gonna make one that it's a higher power. I don't know until I find tangible evidence this higher power contacts me personally, and no, then I mean, no, I don't serve is I serve myself, I serve my wife, I serve my daughter, I serve my children, I serve, I serve my people. You see what I'm saying? I don't. No, I don't. I mean, I don't just believe in. I can't say that I do, but I want to tell. You said these confessions at the times now you don't see as that as helping or anything. Just to name a few that you say you can't help in this time of need in this day and age right now. We do need these that I'm gonna name a few. I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not stole. I have not slain men or women. I have not. I have not been exclusively angry. I have not behaved with violence. I have not caused disruption of the peace. I have not acted hastily or without thought. I have not exaggerated my words when speaking. You see what I'm saying? I have not polluted myself. I have not told lies. I have not terrorized anyone. I have not used evil thoughts, words, or deeds. I have not spoken angrily or arrogantly. I have not falsely accused anyone with insolence. I am not an evildoer. I have not stolen from anyone's land. Now, you mean to tell me that these laws is nothing that right now, in this day and age, in 2019, black people don't need to live by and stand by and walk on? To me, that's the epitome
Absolutely
of what we
not.
need. Okay. So you would rather us think about eavesdropping than robbery and
You know
acting in
what I'd rather
violence and
do is correct
angrily.
you. What I'd rather do is correct you. First of all, I didn't make any of those
Yeah.
assumptions that you're saying. So if I sit here and just say, oh, and just agree, listen, I didn't say that, but you took it and you did build a good question. But let me stop you, please, at a good pausing point. Since we're at a good pausing point, I didn't say any of those things. All right. Now, with that being said, it would be nice for
Phone
everybody
is
to make.
choppy, bro. Salaki.
Hallelujah. You speak your language wonderfully, King. You speak perfect Hebrew. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All praise, man. That's a beautiful thing. Um, and I encourage you too, man. Like when you hear a word, just replace it with a word that you know. Like replace it. Just replace the word. And you'll be speaking your language in no time. So I do think that if those principles were practiced, that it would be a good thing. Here's the thing about it. When looking at those confessions, like we just said that you just said they were laws, right? So a little, wordplay that was done on me when I was looking into it, and I still am, was that they're not laws, they're confessions, or. So my question is like, when we make these confessions, when do we make them? According to my odds, when were these confessions meant to be made? All right, all throughout our entire life, and then at the end of our life is the answer. All right,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
So you when you make the oh my bad. I'm sorry. I thought I'm sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead. You
I'm.
go ahead, brother.
You want me to answer? Oh, okay.
Please.
Yeah. You say these confessions when you come home. You say these confessions before you lay down at night. Before you leave out the house, you say I will not. When you come in, you say I have not. That's
So
your walk.
are these confessions that we
That
make to are these divine confessions that we make to or we just make these confessions to ourselves?
you say, do we make it to a divine to something divine, or do we make it to ourselves?
Right, come.
We make it to ourselves. We make it to ourselves. We make these decisions as men and women to ourselves. I mean, that's the most important thing because if you have If you take these principles within self and you can confess them to yourself and know, hey, I walked all day, I didn't do these things, you're good. Because that's like I say, that will help the black community.
All right. Can you give me and this is my last thing. All right, so you said that you read these things in. All right. Can you give me the reference to where I can read these things and study them also, and so that I can also possibly share them with our community? What reference would you give
Which one's
of
my
the entire doctrine principles of how we can edify our people with this documentation? What book would you suggest that we read it from?
if you can however fit my you can these
What's the name of the king? What's the name of the book?
the Book of the Dead.
Book of the Dead.
You get you the
All
Book of the
right, and
Dead.
mhm. And last question. All right, so referring to the Book of the Dead, so this would be the book that you would suggest to give to our people to help edify and to help bring up our community over the Bible. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are any two book of the dead written the same?
Yes. You just have to, like I say, you have to go into the Hebrew. You have to do that. Now you don't have to go into the Hebrew. All you got to do is just use context clues and comparative study. Just like I did with the 42 ideas of my eye, and then this one said the 42 principles of my eye. One said take care of the earth. It's the same exact thing. You just have to see it. It's easy to see.
Right.
You can't miss it.
All right, man. I believe we got through the majority of the questions. Brothers still banging on each other in the comment board. I'm excited, man. I'm excited about the presentation. I hope that you all are excited about the presentation that's going down this weekend, December 7th, on Lions Den Debate League, the hottest debate league out right now. You understand? Bringing forth this information. What is the purpose? It's better for us to be diving off into history, diving off into books, diving off into study, versus us arguing over whether or not LeBron James is the MVP of the league. Okay. I believe in our ability to raise our consciousness, raise our level of understanding, raise our desire to make an impact on our community. I believe this is what we should be doing right now. There's a multitude of different topics that we can cover on how we can make an impact economically, spiritually, and intellectually. So I believe we're in a good place, man. You know, shout out to all the affiliates. Shout out to all the supporters, man. Stick with us. You understand? We have a consistent viewers with us throughout this entire discussion. So I hope you all are fired up about the debate this weekend between these two brothers who are going to be bringing forth the information. Understand this: we have only scratched the surface of the information that will be brought out this weekend. I believe these brothers are going to do a powerful presentation on this information. So I perceive it to be something that's going to be very impactful for our community, man, because ultimately both of these brothers believe in law and order. You understand? And this is something that we desperately need as a people, something we desperately need in our community, our children, our young men, our women's, our families. I believe these things are desperately needed, and I'm excited about the information coming forth. Are there any closing words from you, Brother Karatazaya? And then we'll go to you, King Seth, to close out.
Yeah, Khan. So closing words would be, regardless of where you are within your walk, your faith, Baba Kushah, please investigate, look at the knowledge that the Most High gave the children of Israel, not the European people who are imposters, but those descendants who came off of those slave ships. Egypt is not the beginning of civilization. Neither is Rome. Neither was America. All right. So there was a man whose name was Abraham, did exist, who did travel through these and who did give birth to a group of children. Now, his children came over here in slave ships, and it is a very sad, disgusting, and disheartening thing to see those of us claim wisdom and forsake our direct great grandmothers who was in slave plantations right here. It's a disgusting thing because our grandfathers and our grandmothers can tell us about the horrors that they seen in slavery, and we'll turn our eyes away and go and look to something else. So I choose to keep the principles and the path that our forefathers laid down for us which was not. I ain't met one damn African Hamite right here in America on my block in any city that I've lived in that said, "You are my people." And it's always Negroes that's defending them and running for them and saying that we're them, but they never say that they're us. So I prefer to say that King is of our nationality based off of his own testimony. And if King says that he is not, I am speaking directly to you because I love you and I'm not, talking about you, but based off of your own testimony, you fit the profile of one of the descendants of the slave trade. So to everybody that's going to be participating and listening, my encouragement is that you do learn of the spirit of wisdom that King spoke on earlier, who is a woman. All right. She does have a name, and she was introduced to Pharaoh, to the first Pharaoh of Egypt, by a very ancient man who was a well-known man, who was also called one of the exalted ones. All right. So I do not teach. I will not be promoting Ma'at. I think it's utter foolery, but the principles, if you take and all those good things that King read and said, I will not do this, I will not do that. If somebody takes those principles and does those principles, I believe that you will prosper. The origin of Ma'at is what's bad, and that's what the issue is. So if I stick with the origin of something and I find out the origin of that thing is not good or conducive, then I won't promote it. All right, so please, if you can, family members, fear the Most High Yahweh, the one who can destroy your body and your soul in hell. All right, keep the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, which is greater than any commandment that's ever been given, and believe in His Son, the Negro that was murdered. All right, Yahweh Shai, Yehoshua, Yahuwah, whatever you call him, believe in the Son that Moses spoke of. With that, I rest. Shalom, family.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you bringing forth your information. King Seth?
Yeah, man. Yeah, respect to you, brother. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think this is gonna be a nice little debate. Respect to you. You know what I mean? But like you say, mine is utter foolery. I believe the same thing about the Bible, man. It's too much. It's too much I can go off of, and I can say I'll be talking for 10 months about how it don't line up. But like you said, I hope they going. I hope research. I hope y'all just at least think about what I said. I hope it did spark. I hope it did spark some type of inquiry in people's mind, and they're gonna research deeper and look deeper. I hope y'all tune into the debate because I will bring out a lot of knowledge about it. I will bring out
That's right.
a lot of things about it. So with that, man, I thank the brother Jeremiah. You know what I'm saying? My heretic family, we in LP. Hey, appreciate my boy Jeremiah. Please say to y'all, my boy Jeremiah Judah. Thank y'all, man. I appreciate everything. Platform is great. And with that, I yield the floor.
Man. Well, I appreciate you all tuning in, man. We still got a lot of brothers and sisters in the chat giving it up, man. So, we're going to go ahead and close out again. Get back with us December 7th, which is this Saturday night at 7 p.m. We're going to have the full presentation of these brothers' debate. And we're going to be moving on to other debates and discussions, linking up and collaborating with other debate leagues as the Lions Den continue to try to bring forth a platform where brothers and sisters can come on and have fair treatment, have an opportunity to speak. We believe in fairness. We believe in righteousness. We believe in treating our brothers and giving our brothers an opportunity to express themselves. And, hey, man, we're going to keep this thing going, man. So y'all stay tuned. Stay up with the Lions Den. And with that being said, man, we're going to say Yahweh, Hashem,
Sham.
God.
Man, hotel, man. I say, Black Power, man.
Black Power. That's right. Black Power.